After spending $30 million of my own money on ads over the last 6 years through BizLeads and generating far in excess of 1.1 million leads over that period of time, I can say without a shadow of a doubt that majority of the time when you get 50 leads, 100 leads, and you don't convert any of them, it's the systems, it's not actually the leads. My name is James Lewis, CEO of Whiteboard Investments and BizLeads, and I can tell without a shadow of a doubt that there are two main reasons why the sales conversion rate on leads all the way through to settled deals in financial planning, life insurance, brokerage, in every single one of them is down to two main reasons. And that's what we're going to cover today. So let's jump right in. If you're buying leads, watch this before you waste your money. Okay. So buying digital leads, you're generating your own leads, anything like that. Okay. If conversion rates are too low, I guarantee you it's not the leads. Okay. Two biggest issues. Conversion rates are too low. Okay. Your funnel leaks at predictable points, which we are going to cover. Sales manager cadence is missing, meaning someone in the business either isn't a sales manager or you're not doing it effectively. So let's jump right down to conversion rates. So number one, I guarantee that the lead to contact rate is not high enough. The contact to opportunity rate is not high enough. And then your opportunity to application rate is high enough. So let's go and define these terms. Lead is just a lead. It's someone who's inquired for more information about your product or service. A contacted lead is when someone picks up the phone, no matter the response, they pick up the phone, okay? And they say one word. From a lead to contact now to opportunity, an opportunity in my book is classed as a self-proclaimed lead that matches your minimum qualification criteria. Self-proclaimed, meaning they have said they match your minimum qualification criteria. Not that you've gone and checked them in credit check or anything like that. They have claimed. The reason why it's separate is because if they claim it and it's not true, it means there's an issue with your scripting and you're not actually able to take out the correct answer from the person and you need to rejig your scripting. And then minimum qualification criteria. You should all know exactly what your minimum qualification criteria of a client of what it is. If it's business lending, it could be 8K minimum monthly, 6 months trading, 10K minimum loan amount, for example. So the SOP, straight away, contact rate SOP. You need a complete SOP on how you're actually going to be contacting with systems on how to enforce it. Because you know when you lead, maybe as the CEO, the founder or whatever, you convert leads. But then when you bring on people, you wonder why they're not able to convert and there starts to be a lot of different issues. It's because what you're doing right now and what they're doing right now is the middle that's missing, which is the cadence. But most people at the start, they know what they're doing, but they don't write it down. So this is what we find is the best at a minimum for contact rate, okay? 2 dials per day for 3 days, 6 in total, and on the 7th dial, a final attempt. What we've found is you can do it for slightly longer, 1 day longer, or you can add in another few dials on the first day because the first day is the most important, okay? And all leads must hit a minimum of 7 dials, no exceptions. So you set up your pipeline, dial 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. You have tasks, reminders, and you have someone who's actually watching it day to day, okay? And then on dials 2, 4, and 6, you need to make sure to include voicemail, SMS, email, okay? And then the touch pattern rules for the other dials, 1, 3, 5, and 7, you can choose optionally to do an SMS only on 1, 3, and 5. But think about it. On dial 1, you should have just sent them a new lead SMS email and you should be calling them for dial 1 within 5 to 10 minutes, okay? So speed lead under 5 minutes. There's no reason that any lead within business hours should be called like over 30 minutes. And I know I said 5 to 10, but I'm saying not over 30 because what happens if, every single lead can't be dialed within 5 minutes because of, maybe you have a team of 2 or 3, you don't have 20 people where leads just get randomly assigned and then they have to basically dial straight away. Maybe you don't have an auto dialer. So make sure that when you're actually doing the tracking and the KPIs that you do a 30-minute maximum because they could be, on their lunch break or doing something else, okay? And the biggest thing you want to aim for is a contact rate minimum of 80%. You know that there's two main issues if you don't hit a contact rate of 80%. Number one, lead source doesn't just follow basics. A basic lead source needs to provide on digital, needs to go from an ad to a landing page to a good quality form with SMS verification or some sort of verification straight to a thank you page. If you follow those 4 steps on the lead side, then you know from there, and obviously compliant ads and things like that, making sure you're not claiming just absolute bullshit. But on the contact rate, you know that 80% is a very good metric, and if you're at 40 or 50, it's your process straight away, okay? And you need to make sure you track the right percentages. So lead to contact rate percentage, meaning how many total leads come in, 100, how many get on the phone no matter the response, 80. Contact to opportunity percentage, make sure you're tracking that, and then make sure you're tracking speed to lead. So contact to opportunity percentage, means any lead that picks up the phone, how many of them pass the qualification criteria of what they say and that they are interested to become an opportunity. Because obviously the drop off from contact to opportunity is going to be two things: people who don't qualify and people who don't want to talk to you. They're the only two real reasons that they can't. And then there's obviously sub reasons under why didn't they qualify and why didn't they want to talk to you. So they're the huge things. Okay. So straight away, checklist. Are your leads being contacted within 5 minutes? Are you hitting an 80% contact rate? Are your scripts enforced? And then are your calls audited weekly? If you don't have all of these things checked off, you need to go and do them now, because you can't then blame lead quality when you're not even sure about the sales process that you're currently running, okay? And then contact opportunity percentage, just to give you a relative benchmark, should be over 50%, okay? Meaning you get 80 people on the phone out of 100, and then 40 of those turn into an opportunity, not application, opportunity. Okay, so that's the main thing. That's how you get more leads on the phone, and scripting and auditing calls, because you know exactly how to get the highest conversion rate. You know if a call sounds shit, you know if the person's going to say yes or no based on how a call sounds. And if you don't, go and get training, get someone to help you, to show you what to look for in a script, okay? You have basic sections. You don't need to follow it word for word, but section by section. You need to have a specific section by section. The easiest pro tip of how to get section by section scripts is to go and get all your call recordings, put them into ChatGPT of all successful call recordings, and then get it to basically give you a framework based on what you're already doing, okay? Number 2 is the sales manager cadence. So without leads being contacted and all of this, it's like, how do you now enforce this, okay? And sales manager cadence doesn't mean you need a sales manager. Most people under 10 staff are going to struggle with resource and just overall needing a sales manager, because the founder or CEO or whatever is going to be managing that, maybe a general manager, something like that. Here are the 3 points on each of them, the mandatory things that you need to do. And there's only 4 main sections in a sales manager cadence. There's 5, but I'll explain what the 5th is. Number 1, daily huddles, okay? 10 to 15 minutes max. You go over numbers from yesterday, focuses for today, and then if you have them, any testimonials to keep the team hyped and make sure they actually know why they're selling or brokering, giving deals, whatever you want to call it. Number 2 is mandatory, having one-on-one per team member per week. And you review individual KPIs. It's not therapy, it's coaching. So you're actually going through their calls, which we'll cover in auditing what we actually go through. And then you're giving very specific actionable feedback, okay? Next is QA and auditing. So this is what you cover on the weekly one-on-ones. You go through a minimum of 5 to 10 call recordings per rep per week. Okay, you then review CRM notes and follow-ups with those 5 to 10 call recordings, and you make sure each of them, the pipeline actually follows what you have been, like what you've heard and what the notes actually say, to make sure they're in the right stages. Because I fucking guarantee you, if there's 5 people in your team that you're reviewing, 5 to 10 of them, and every single one on 5 call recordings is a decent call recording, they've got CRM notes and they've got active follow-up and they're in the right pipeline stages, you will be making money. And then I guarantee you, if you have, CRM notes, follow-ups, and they're out of place, hygiene checks are not in the right stages, you know there's something going wrong. You're probably not making as much money. So the last final one before going on to 5 is SOP improvement. So obviously you're now using the call recordings, the reviews of CRM notes, and the pipeline checks. Where are you getting this from? You're getting it from a written SOP, or something that's written down exactly like this, okay? You've got something that they're following. So then the 4th stage, which you do monthly, is you look at the SOP improvements. So you do huddles with the team, one-on-ones, and Q&A to improve the existing SOP, okay? You're looking at scripts, you're looking at what dial cadence you're doing, and objections handled weekly and updated weekly if new objections come up, okay? And the SOP is a live system that you review either weekly or monthly, depending on how big your team is. I personally don't like reviewing it too often, because if an SOP is built by the founder CEO, they know it's working, so why would you change it? Which means one change per year of something big, meaning, you go from, for example, 7 dials to 9. How are you going to know it's worked? It doesn't take 7 days to figure out if something's worked or not. And whenever you change something, changes to an SOP, it needs to have a minimum of a 20% increase to the existing performance of what you're changing. Because when you change, assume you have a 10-person team, 5 of them are brokers or some kind of sales staff, and you change one thing in the SOP. I promise you, when you change, you have a guaranteed change in performance because you're changing something, which means it could go up or it could go down. But when it goes down, it's very difficult for you to make up usually what happens is when you change it, it goes down by 20%. And that 20% might be active for, 1 month, 2 months, which means for it to even be worth it, you need to change the SOP so that it has a minimum of a 20% increase. So you have 2 months down, 2 months up, which means you've lost 4 months back to just normal revenue numbers to then constantly increase at that 20% range just by changing one thing. And with one person, 2 people, you won't find as much of a change like this. But when you have 20 people working for you, when I was in finance, we had 30 people, like 30 brokers. So it's like when you change something there, it's crazy, okay? And the 5th one is, what does a sales manager do? They hire, fire, and interview. But that's not in here because it's not as much important with lead conversion rate because it's not the system. So let's recap on everything. Conversion rates are too low. Sales manager cadence is missing. So lead to contact, contact opportunity percentages. Focus ruthlessly on that. Use this contact rate SOP with these touch patterns as an absolute minimum. Contact rate benchmark percentage, 80% or more, with the contact to opportunity percentage being 50% or more minimum. Take this checklist. Are you contacting leads in under 5 minutes within business hours? Are you hitting 80% contact rate? Are scripts in force and are calls audited weekly? If not, move to this. Daily huddles, weekly one-on-ones, Q&A and auditing weekly, and then SOP improvement. That's basically it. The 2 biggest things from when you buy leads or when you get leads through agency or when you get leads through any channel, why you are not getting the conversion rate that you actually want. Hopefully you found that valuable. If any of these tips resonate with you or you have any comments or want to see anything, comment below, like and subscribe. But apart from that, I hope you have an amazing day.